The Dalish prisoners escaped safely?
We got them away free and clear.
Good. Whatever my frustrations with them, it feels good to have helped my people again. Thank you for allowing me to help. The chance to infuriate Elganon was a reminder of simpler times.
You said you found the Dalish frustrating. Why is that?
It is unfair to them. I lived for thousands of years, and after I imprisoned the Evanuris, I slept for thousands more. I awoke in a world that had forgotten the ancient times almost entirely. And those who tried to remember Elven history, like the Dalish, had gotten so much wrong.
Let me guess. You tried to tell them what they were getting wrong, and they didn't believe you.
There are few things that frustrate me as much as ignorance. I tried to explain the truth to one clan. When I convinced them that I was truly Fen'Harel, they attacked me. After that, I hid my explanations behind the facade of having witnessed events in the Fade.
And every mage knows that what we see in the Fade might not be literally true.
Yes. The Dalish had no reason to believe me. I could only watch as they continued to worship Elganon, though we may have seen the last of that tradition, at least.
You and Elganon were really tearing into one another back there.
I needed to goad him to anger in order to distract him. But yes, while all of the Evanuris were monsters in their own ways, Elganon was the worst. Or perhaps it is more honest to say that his were the faults I found most objectionable. You have met him now, heard his voice hammering at the doors of your mind, and you have met me. Can you see how he and I might frustrate one another?
The two of you are too much alike. Both of you want to be in charge.
I have no desire to be in charge.
No, you just want to be able to correct anyone who's not doing everything the way you would have done it.
I see you have been observing me as well during these conversations.
All right. I can see how you and Elganon would hate each other.
He has always been what I most feared becoming. Callous and uncaring, his arrogance unchecked. To have that much power and no one to remind him that he could be wrong.
Well, he had you.
And I suppose I had you.
Last time I got his attention, he got angry enough to come after us with the Blighted Dragons. Hopefully this baits him into a mistake we can use against him.
Every act of resistance is a thorn in his side. He will break soon. When we first met, I saw you only as a foolishly confident child who disrupted my plans. You were an irritant. I gave you information to oppose Elganon out of necessity, but I expected you to be nothing more than a tool. Seeing you with your team, I was wrong.
I'm impressed you got that out without choking on it.
If I could not admit when I was wrong, I would be no better than Elganon. Your team trusts you, and you listen to them. It is impressive and enviable. It took me centuries to build such a bond during my rebellion, and when I served the Inquisition, I tried to avoid entanglements.
What about the Inquisitor? Does he not count as a friend?
He does. One of several I grew fond of despite myself when I was with the Inquisition. There was also Cole, a spirit of compassion I helped adapt to our world. He was the only one who knew who I really was. I miss him a great deal. Josephine, the Inquisition's ambassador, was a bastion of kindness and decency in a world that looked down on elves and apostates. Even Cassandra Pendergast of the Order of the Seekers. She was what a believer should be. Faithful, practical, committed to serving, not ruling. I suppose I did bond with the Inquisition after all, as you have with your team.
Thank you for sharing that. So what comes next? What are the gods going to do?
Elganan and Gillenane are preparing the dagger they will use for their ritual to pierce the veil. Elganan's power is tied to light and darkness. He will need to perform a ritual during the next eclipse.
That gives us some time to prepare.
It is likely to be your last chance to do so. You must be ready for whatever comes, for this world and for the team that trusts you. I know that you will do everything in your power not to fail them.
So now Elganan's recovered his own archdemon, and the gods only need an eclipse to complete their dagger.
We saved the Dalish, though. That's important.
But now Elgernon's immortal, so long as his archdemon lives.
And we all know how hard those things are to kill.
We killed Razikale, didn't we?
After losing hundreds of wardens. And it took a centuries-old trap to do it. We don't have either of those. Not anymore.
Just when you think the tide's in your favor, it turns right back.
We've done some great work underwater. You know why no one else can save the world except us? Why the Inquisitor told me it had to be us? Because we don't give up. Knock us down, and we come back swinging.
Nice speech, Rook. But it's hard to complete a contract if you don't know where the target is.
We found the gods before,
Not without help, we didn't.
so we get help again. We've got allies everywhere now.
I can think of a few options, but I'm open to suggestions.
Wardens have run dry. Nothing new is moving in the deep roads.
And the Veil Jumpers couldn't find any trace of Elgranon or his archdemon.
The crows may have something. The Antam are moving large quantities of supplies out of the city. Weapons, armor, gatlock. And several storehouses worth of food, what little we had left. It's enough to feed the Antam Navy for 3 months. Or all of Treviso for 6 weeks.
Given the timing, it seems unlikely to be a coincidence.
Wherever those supplies are headed, that's likely where we'll find the gods. Any more details from the crows, Lycanis?
They said the Antam have long work ahead. We have time. Also, Biago would like a meeting. At your earliest convenience. From him, that means important, but not yet urgent.
Did Viago tell you how much time we have?
Days to weeks. Nothing more precise.
Well, that's our best lead so far. Track those supplies and we should find the gods. That said, the Venatori aren't up to anything good in Minrathous.
Not to complicate things, but the Inquisitor also wants to meet Rook.
Right. With everything he's been doing in the south, we owe him an update.
I'll let him know.
Despite the odds, we've survived. We made a habit of it. Take some time. Rest. Be ready to go. Next time the gods appear, let's make sure it's the last. Hey, Antoine. Evka.
I can still hear it. Though it is giving me a headache.
Please be careful.
With the container? It's very sturdy. I tested it.
What? When? And how?
Am I interrupting?
No. Our study of the new blight continues.
We know the gods changed the blight. We think it changed more than they realized, or altered itself after.
It's answering to something other than gods.
It's still spreading and it's still killing people. Seems our job is the same.
At least the part that matters.
So what's the Blight answering to?
Remember the strange call I heard after the Lavendale battle? It was here, in the wetlands.
We think the source is out a ways, towards the redoubt.
I can tell it's something large, rooted. A construct of the Blight itself. An eruption controlling the rest. What that could mean... Everything that calls the Blight impacts the Wardens. We withstand it. But gods, archdemons, it all adds strain.
If the eruption calls the blight, then it could mess with us too. Spark the calling sooner. We'll lose ourselves, along with the wetlands.
Antoine, you hear whispers in the Blight, more than me and Evka. Are you...
Yes, a little sensitive, but it's not calling to me. Not yet. Like everyone else, I'll know when that changes.
So how do I help?
Figured you'd be in. Remember those samples you found when we first arrived? Based on our studies, Antoine made an alchemical flame. It's impressive. It should destroy the eruption.
Theoretically. At least the last batch was stable. Mostly.
But if the eruption's controlling the blight and it gets attacked, then the blight around Lavendale might respond.
Yes, its roots are everywhere, and spreading. I can feel them.
These people can't lose their Blight experts. I can go after the eruption.
While we guard against nasty side effects here.
It's a plan. I didn't miss the part where Antoine said the alchemical flame is mostly stable.
I'll make sure the containers are sealed.
Maybe don't bang them together.
The blight poisons so much. Water, plants, animals, people. Some would call the wetlands dead already. But they're not. It's not too late. Whatever the eruption means for the Wardens, we can leave this place better. It's what we're supposed to do.
We'll take our stand in the sheltered glade. Meet us there when you're done.
Trouble ahead.
Get ready.
Oh, is it time again? Great. Careful ahead.
There's something in here. It's not good.
We follow your lead.
The eruption's on the other side of that barrier. We'll need to cut off the tendrils to break through.
While holding off dark spawn.
A tendril. It's attached over there.
Up on the ledge. We can hit the tendrils from there.
We did it!
A ballista.
Fun! Could be useful.
Ready when you are.
Good one, Rook. All right. Better move before more darkspawn show up. We're through.
Okay, good. Let's see what's ahead.
What is... Is that the Blight eruption?
Mierda.
The Darkspawn are protecting it. We need to take them out. I can hear that eruption. Spreading blight. We need to stop this. The blight. Keep going.
Take that, Darkspawn!
Behind you!
You gotta move!
Get back! Now's your chance!
Get clear! Bad spot! Move! Ready to go!
This is it. Let's get that eruption. All right. We strike and the whole thing goes up. All right. Time to destroy this thing.
They aren't blighted. Were they dormant?
Maybe. They're beautiful. Much like you. Ah, Rook, hi!
We knew when you hit that eruption. The blight around Lavendel reacted. And there was a sound in it. Like nothing we've heard before.
What happened in there? What was it like?
I've never seen blight like that. And it felt different, like something under my skin.
Then you sense it too. So much has changed.
When the eruption was destroyed, some of the bigger tendrils pulled back. The remaining blight won't vanish overnight, but it's a good sign. And this place opened up.
The flowers here, they managed to survive, buried, untouched. They have a chance to return now.
Look at you, out here with the flowers and a moment alone that I walked into the middle of.
You're fine.
Yes, please. Enjoy the flowers.
We thought the Grey Warden's purpose would end when the last archdemons died.
And that time's almost here. It's unbelievable.
The Order is those of us left now. When the archdemons fall, some wardens will hang up their swords. Until they're calling, at least.
So the Wardens are finished?
No, our numbers may get smaller, but FK and I will be here. Others will stay too.
There's still blight in the world. There's something new calling to it. And to us.
There's blight inside us too. If it changed out there, have we changed as well?
What matters is that if new evils show up, we'll be here to keep them back.
Do you really think something inside us has changed?
It's possible. Or maybe we're the same. But does that mean we'll be the same? The blight feels different. We know that already. The sound of it is changing. We know that too.
What that means, we don't know yet.
Are you two doing okay? Seriously?
I'm good. I've got everything I need right here.
Me too.
I'm a Grey Warden. Whatever comes at us next, that's not changing.
Didn't think so.
We continue together.
The blight feels relentless most of the time. We see what it does up close.
The world dying. How it spreads. But we keep going.
And look, these flowers can make it back.
The Blight. We really can do something about it.
Of course we can.
Helps to see it's true, though.
Lavendel was named for flowers. They must have been everywhere before. When we get back.
We can stay here a bit longer first.
Oh, yes. I thought I heard birds earlier. Maybe we can find them?
The wetlands aren't fully healed.
The flowers fought back.
Yeah. Pushing back the Blight. It's possible. What?
Spite was wondering if Nev would like a flower. I don't know. Maybe a small one?
If Elganon...
You spend far too much time here, Dorian.
This is where all my favorite people are. And besides, I have news. And every messenger bird I've met is dreadful at nuance.
What's the problem with Magister Parvus being here?
He's our eyes and ears in the Magisterium. He needs to keep suspicion off him.
Yes, I know. Can't be spotted with the shadow dragons. You worry too much, May.
Well, what do you have for us?
The cult lost people in Arlethan, and leadership has fallen to Knight Commander Lenos. He aims to bring the city to its knees.
But Minrathous is already falling apart.
I know. While the Varantis' attack on the city could have been much worse, the people's fear in the aftermath is palpable.
And the rumors about the Archon are true. He's dead. Assassinated during the Dragon's rampage. The palace has tried to keep the news from spreading until a new Archon steps up.
And no one has?
No one dares. Not with the Venatori circling like vultures. The risen gods are preparing for something big. And for that, they need fear. Chaos.
Just tell me how I stop them. What are they planning?
That's the problem. I don't know. But we'll find out. Lenos is the key to all of it. First, we stop what he's planning for Minrathous.
And then we find out what the gods are preparing for.
Let's hope it stays that simple. One of Lenos' Venatori associates is often at the Cobbled Swan. Let's see what we can get from him.
We? Dorian, you can't be going yourself.
It's the Swan. Everyone goes to the Swan.
I'll head out right now. How well do you know Maevaris?
By reputation, she's been a prominent politician for a long time, and a hero to boot. We don't work together much, but from what I've seen, she's earned the good name.
We probably shouldn't keep Dorian waiting too long. There's Dorian.
There's Lenos' associate. According to the shadows watching him, he's nervous and doesn't talk much, but does odd jobs for coin. Interesting, yes? I'll draw him off, you check his belongings, see if you can discover any clues about Lenos' plan.
Mostly gone. Warm. I don't even know what this is. Ale? Looks like he's been nursing it a while. A bedroll. It's definitely seen better days. And it's damp. Sleeping out in the rain. Half-eaten stale bread, water flask, muddy socks, and this map. Minrathous targets. That doesn't sound good. This all sounds like trouble.
What are you poking about in there for?
Dorian will want to know.
The others are bartenders, but I'm the mixologist. I don't serve drinks. I build libations. Let me know if you want anything. Nothing else?
Lenos intends to destroy the city with Blight and Darkspawn.
Carthus. Nothing like an attack to cause chaos in a city. You should head there immediately.
All right, let's go.
Trouble ahead.
Quick! I'm ready. Let's go. Hey, bro. Nice shot. About to have a problem. They're all yours. We're not alone. Take them down. That's one for
Everyone's still alive.
Something tore through these gates. Something big. Watch out! That the dark spawn was what tore through the gates.
Let's finish this. That goes to you.
Everyone all right?
can't get along.
More blights in the way. That did it. We can...
Think there's enough of them?
Everything's crumbling down here. Might be tricky to get out.
At least a dozen people have been lost trying to map this place. But I'd mention that. Not enough. Look for another blight boil.
Find the blight boils. We need to clear the way and keep pushing. We got it. Way should be clear.
Shadow dragons? How did you find this place? Venatori, come in! Do you think you've won? Do you think you can stop the Venatori? Or the risen gods?
I won't give up the city to them. Or to you.
The Shadow dragons have brought nothing but chaos to the city!
At least we're not trying to blight it.
Not that bad!
On your right, watch it! Watch your back!
That's one less corrupt Templar in Minrathous.
Can't say he'll be missed.
Let's look around, see what we find.
In Treviso, we have a tale of a masked man who lived in the bowels of the city.
Sitting in the sewer and consumed with lust for a noble woman he couldn't have.
You know the story.
We have the same one in Minrathous.
The Risen God's ritual. That's what the gods in the Venatori are preparing for. Lenos' documents. They detail the Venatori's long-term plans and what they want to do to Tevinter. These star charts predict an eclipse to make magic stronger.
So that's the play. A ritual performed under an eclipse to strengthen its power.
All this, the ritual, the eclipse, and the Venatori plans. We have to bring this to the Shadow Dragons immediately.
We need to tell the Shadow Dragons what we found.
Evil old gods, rituals, waiting for the stars. It's about as Tevinter as blood magic and hubris. Learning about the gods' plans is wonderful, of course. But the lists of magisters you got your hands on, now there's the real gold.
You've looked at it already. Of course you have.
Information on their backers, the ties to illegal slavery. Don't you see what this means?
This is power, May. Imagine becoming Archon and using this against those who've been hurting the people for years.
You? On the throne? Dorian.
Tell me that wouldn't be a splendid way to bring about real change.
Sounds like someone's got a plan.
Goodness, you make me sound absolutely nefarious. I love it. But yes, if the Venatori can scheme, so can we.
But how would you use this information exactly?
Dorian wants to use it to crush our enemies by whatever means necessary. I prefer to use it to rally the people. I say we make the information known. Allow the people to see the real justice served. Prove that from now on, we work for them.
We tried that already. Or have you forgotten the Lucerni? I no longer trust that political machine will work in our favor. No. We must get at the root of the problem before they can react. A more forceful approach. Destroy them and their networks utterly.
Swords and spies and blackmail? The devious means you learned in the South? If we go outside the system, we invite everyone else to do the same. No, we have to do this in the open. Show the people of Tevinter that we're here for them.
We're Shadow Dragons. It's right there in the name. You supported this because you knew the system didn't work for the people.
The point was to work in the shadows until we could work in the light. And Rook has brought us what we need.
May, the Imperium's politics burned you once and you still...
Enough. We're not the only ones who have a stake in this. Rook, you have been instrumental in all this. Which strategy do you prefer?
You want me to choose who will be Archon? But I'm not even from here. I can't decide.
Then talk to the ones who are. See what they say. Asher and Tarquin, Nev, Gallus, they're all a part of this, just as you are. We should all be comfortable with whatever course we take.
All right. I'll go do that.
Grand news about Lenos. One less crooked Templar in town.
The city will be better off with him gone.
We can hope.
Lenos made my life miserable. Rana's too.
I hear he started out different. Maybe he once cared about something other than gold. But I didn't know that, Lenos. And I'm not going to mourn the one I did. Still, I'll thank the bastard for writing everything down. And delivering it to us all neat.
Dorian and Mayvaris still have to decide what to do with everything we got from Lenos.
And they asked for my opinion. Can you believe it?
After all that talk about people needing a voice, I'd be looking at them sideways if they didn't.
I suspect this decision will determine Tevinter's path for years to come.
Then Dorian's way is my choice. He knows you don't stop to talk when you find a hole in the enemy's defenses.
Dorian is a brash rebel.
And Maevaris too much of a romantic.
I think the people will appreciate Maevaris returning as the leader they've always wanted to see.
No. They'll appreciate their lives actually changing for the better.
What do you think might happen, depending on who leads?
With May, she gets power back again. Gets one more shot at changing Tevinter from the top down. Worst that could happen is nothing. But that's what you risk when all you rely on is hope. But with Dorian...
We could get chaos, strife. Things might get harder before they get easier. If they get easier.
I'll take my chances.
This is not helping. At all.
If I'd known you wanted help, I wouldn't have said anything.
Quinn.
What? Opinions are cheap. Sometimes you just have to go where you go.
I have faith, Rook.
Still not helpful. So, what do you think?
Lenos is gone. We got information about the Venatori's plans, the god's ritual. I'd call that a good day.
I meant about Maevaris and Dorian. We all want change. Who will be more effective in getting it?
Oh, that. You're dragging me into it?
You're the famed detective. What's the right call?
This isn't a murder.
Politics is murder. Isn't that what they always say?
Maevaris Talani has been in this game for decades. She's dedicated and ruthless when she needs to be. Dorian Parvis is a wild card. Flashy and inventive, he'll keep his enemies on their toes. But if you're asking me, I'd go with Maevaris. She'll inspire people, show them that the Magisterium can be better than it is. Right now, after the gods and everything else, that's what this city needs. What we all need.
Thanks, Nev. That helps.
That's what I'm here for.
Maker. A full quarter of the Magisterium supporting a cult. Bending the knee to these risen old gods just for a taste of more power. Can they not see they're only tools for the gods? So they can destroy the world?
Demanding intelligence, rationality, and self-awareness from our peers. You ask too much, Maevaris.
Look at me. Such a fool.
Ah, it's Rook. You spoke with the others.
What do you think? Who should be leading the charge from here on?
What happens after it's decided who'll lead?
Well, Lenos is gone, the cult's numbers are down, and they're scrambling to prepare for the god's ritual. They'll be distracted. It's a perfect opportunity to get our preparations in order.
All plans contingent on surviving the current disaster, of course.
Maevaris should lead.
I will not squander the opportunity. That is my promise to you all.
And May will have my full support, of course, for when enemies get in our way.
They will. It is Tevinter, after all.
The risen gods are still causing chaos. The people will need your voice to keep them fighting.
Oh, they will fight. This city has strength enough to stand against any so-called gods. We will win the day, and after that, we will win a brighter Tevinter for all of us.